in Velmari's Crystal Palace. Inside, Lord Velmari stands by a projection map of the Shadowlands, voices of the council echoing behind him. For years, the rebellion brewed in the shadows of the broken moons. And Lord Velmari, ever the diplomat, had been the bridge between crown and rebels. Until now. Isabella Vastra stands at attention as Lord Velmari addresses the council. "I will no longer lead the negotiations. Send Isabella Vastra. She has observed, listened. Let her speak for us." The council murmurs. Lady Corva narrows her eyes. Isabella Vastra bows. But behind her calm gaze, her mind spins. For years, Lady Corva had been the council's golden flame. Loyal, disciplined, and dangerously clever. She bore 3 children in Lord Velmari's name, but their blood told another story. Isabella Vastra listens as a speaker debates about her. Her eyes narrow, then widen. A voice. That voice. Smooth, commanding, laced with venom. And if loyalty is in question, the roots must be pulled before the tree collapses. That voice is familiar. Isabella Vastra's mind reels. The same voice from that long-ago night with Lady Corva. A whisper in the shadows now sitting in power. Lord Helshini, brilliant strategist, member of the Inner Five, and the secret lover of Lady Corva. Lord Kadrith, leader of the Council of Continuity, ordered Lord Corael to go with Isabella Vastra to the Shadowlands. To others it was a promotion. To her, it was destiny calling. Lord Corael, now silver-haired, leans toward Isabella Vastra on the ship on their way to the Shadowlands. "You remind me of a girl who died in flames, but I see her eyes again in you. You're her, aren't you?" Isabella Vastra calmly replied, "You're mistaken. If they burn your name, light the stars with your silence." Corael pauses. "She was 12, and used to say those words you just used. A phrase your mother used to say. I was your barrister then." Isabella Vastra is quiet, but Lord Coral's knowing look lingers like a brand. He quietly said, "If you want to help your father, search the archives. The records are hidden up above in the chambers." Arriving at the borderlands of the Shadowlands, muffled voices of rebels rise in the wind. The psychic mist curls low, heavy with unseen watchers. She wasn't stepping into a battlefield. She was stepping into the aftermath of her own creation. Isara Yolan, now in her early 30s, stands tall in rebel armor. Her aura pulses faintly as 2 senior psychics observe her. Fighters bow in her presence, not as a queen, but as a force. There was no mention of her name in the broadcasts, but Isabella Vastra knew. The gestures, the posture, the voice calling for justice. It was the ripple effect of a lie told 20 years ago. Now grown into a legend. In the negotiation tent, Isabella Vastra sits across from Isara, tension thick in the air. The psychics are sitting across. Isabella Vastra said diplomatically, "The council offers amnesty." A voice in the rebuilding. "Lay down arms." Isara firm, unshaken, replying, "The throne must return to the people, to those who bled. Only then will peace begin. These people, your people, do not deserve to be sacrificed on the battlefield," said Isabella Vastra. "They are our people too, and their well-being is our responsibility. We are deeply reluctant to engage in conflict, yet you continue to attack the very people you claim to protect. So tell me, are you truly defending them, or merely following orders from someone else?" Isabella Vastra hopes to remind Isara of something in the past. An elder psychic wants to say something, but Isara raises her hand. "This meeting is over," she said. "Join me as I practice what my birthright allows." They went out into the woods. Isabella Vastra watches closely. But her gaze strays toward Isara's training with the psychics. Movements etched in her memory. Words she once whispered to the girl as a child has become the strength of a rebellion she doesn't know whether to reject or support. But at the moment, duty demands. Isara uses her hands, and a blue smoke covers them, something Isabella remembers in the flame 20 years ago. Isara psyched the trees in the woods to open up and swallow one of the rebels. The psychic elders quickly rush to save the victim. Isara turns to Isabella. "Tell your superiors the true heir of Velmara is waiting for their surrender." Isabella Vastra had given Isara the script, but the girl had written her own war. Could this be the Omni psychic she was told about? "No, this is a random girl I created," she thought as she boarded her ship back to Velmara. Isabella Vastra returns to Velmari's citadel, but she's no longer just a lawyer or a ghost from Earth. She begins to practice what she witnessed, the psychic training. A candle flickers, her fingers hover, the flame bows, easier than she thought. A forgotten girl from Earth, now a rising force within the heart of a crumbling empire. She dashed into the woods, stretched her arms toward the forest, and blue smoke began to swirl around her hands, rising from her fingertips to her elbows. With a wave, 50 trees split open from their trunks, as if responding to her imagination, swallowing invisible figures she had conjured in her mind. In an instant, she sealed the trees shut again. A surge of power rushed through her, an intoxicating mix of strength and fear. A single thought consumed Isabella Vastra. Could this power be the key to saving her father? Silently, she slipped into the archives, searching for evidence. The vast, empty halls echoed beneath her footsteps. Towering stacks of folders loomed like monuments within the temple-like building. Drawing upon her psychic abilities, she commanded the building's inner walls to lift her upward. At the top, she discovered a sealed file, its energy faint but unmistakable. With a focused thought, she unlocked it using her mind. She uncovers encrypted messages, meeting transcripts, voice recordings, and a tampered DNA file. Her hands tremble, not from fear, but from the weight of revelation. Piece by piece, the truth emerges. The whispering voice. Lord Helshini's sudden rise, Corva's deception, her father, Velmari, misled by misplaced loyalty. The full picture comes into focus. A planned assassination, a web of betrayal, the names of those involved. Clutching the report tightly, Isabella Vastra races toward Lord Velmari's private chambers. But the guards informed her he's been summoned to the council. And so has your name. The council hall was never designed for justice. It was built to protect power. Massive golden doors swing open. Isabella Vastra races in, eyes wild, a thick folder clenched in her hand. Her boots echo thunder across the marble floor. Lord Velmari stands encircled by the council's high lords. Their robes ripple with disdain. Lord Kadrith turns slowly and coldly. "Lord Velmari, you stand accused of treason against this council and now nothing to say? A silent coup led by your daughter, the agent you've trained in secret, Isabella Vastra." He gestures. Guards rush forward, their armor clanking. Isabella Vastra raises her hands but doesn't resist. She's powerful, yes, but restraint is her weapon. Isabella Vastra calm but loud. "I am innocent, and so is my father." Gasps. Silence. The entire chamber holds its breath. Then, the folder in her hand slips. Papers scatter across the floor. Recordings, pictures. The thud, too loud, echoes like an explosion in still air. A nearby guard stoops, retrieves them, and hands them to an assistant. Whispers begin. The truth had fallen at their feet, and no one could look away. Lord Kadrith measured some words. "Speak, Isabella Vastra, or is it something else we should call you?" Isabella Vastra lifts her chin, eyes locking with Lady Corva. Clear, steady. "My name is Isara Velmari, daughter of Lord Velmari and Lady Alani Velmari. I was meant to die in that fire 20 years ago. But I lived. I returned in shadow to learn. And now I know everything." She points to Lady Corva and her silent, brooding companion. Corva and her secret lover, Lord Helshini, plotted my death. Plotted to take power. Her children aren't Velmaris. They were never Lord Velmari heirs. And in your hands are the documents to prove it. Gasps ripple through the chamber. A heavy, stunned silence settles like fog. Lord Velmari remains motionless, calm, composed, as if he'd known all along. He steps forward, his voice a haunting whisper. "Isabella," he breathes. "Of all the names, you chose hers. The tale of the Earth Girl. My wife used to tell it to you as a bedtime story, but it wasn't a story. It was my truth. I knew, the moment I heard your name." Before the silence can return, Lord Kadrith's voice cuts through the air like thunder. "Read the documents! Now!" The assistant steps forward. As they begin to read, suddenly steel flashes. Lord Kadrith stiffens. His own chief guard drives a blade into his side from behind. Kadrith collapses. Screams erupt. Blood stains the council's floor. Chief Guard says loudly, "Long live Lord Helshini, new head of the Council of Continuity." Lord Helshini steps forward, smug, eyes gleaming. Lord Velmari sighs and said, "I saw this coming, but this is too soon." Lord Helshini said darkly, "Let all who challenge my leadership speak now, or accept their place beneath me." Guards look at each other, unsure. The head of the Royal Guard steps forward, voice gruff. "The throne must never be empty, and as the closest living kin to Lord Kadrith, we recognize Lord Helshini as leader. We serve the throne, not the man." Lord Helshini is an uncle to the slain leader of the Council of Continuity, Lord Seadrith. Chaos grows. Outside drums, horns, shouts. A messenger bursts in. The rebel forces have broken through the gates. Their leader stands at the city steps, demanding the throne of her ancestors. A ripple moves through the chamber. Lord Helshini mockingly says, "Is she the Omni psychic?" Whispers rise. They say she controls minds. No one's seen power like hers. Some say she's Isara, the daughter of Velmari, returned from death. Velmaris have no claim to the throne. Lord Helshini's voice. Now the world watched a lie unravel and a legend awaken. Isabella Vastra, Isara Velmari. Her eyes no longer hide. The past burns in them. The throne, the truth, the war, all about to collide. The tension was volcanic. The city gate of Velmara, where kings once rode through with the people's blessing, now trembled beneath the weight of its own history. Surrounded by hundreds, council members in ornate robes, rebels armored in shadow steel, psychics glowing faintly, storm clouds overhead. Lord Helshini, newly emerged as leader of the Council of Continuity and desperate to hold power, raised his voice. "Bring them both. Let the truth be tested before the eyes of Velmara. If prophecy dares challenge my rule, let it come face me at the gate of kings." Isabella Vastra and Lord Velmari, bound with chains, dragged behind the guards. The crowd parts. Silence. The lords of Velmari's bloodline, the ancient kingmakers, the leaders of the Shadowlands, commanders of soldiers of Velmara, all gathered beneath the steel sky, not to vote, but to decide, peace or war. Isara Velmari, leader of the rebels from the Shadowlands, stepped forward. "The throne of Velmara belongs to the Selvaron bloodline. The line was not lost. The prophecy speaks of an heir, guarded by fire, hidden by shadow, revealed only by the Omni psychic." Lord Helshini furiously cuts in, "Enough! The Selvarons were extinct, consumed by the War of Wars. There is no heir. The Council of Continuity leads Velmara now, and I am its voice." He turned to the council's own psychic, Virulin. "Denounce the prophecy, now!" Virulin steps forward, cloaked in white, lifts his hand to speak, but the moment shatters with other psychics rejecting his position. Virulin is a fraud, bought and bound by gold. Uproar. Council elders rise to defend him. Psychics erupt in protest. Chaos spills like lightning. Then, silence! Isara Velmari voice came in strong and calm. She steps forward, black and silver armor glinting, war-scarred but composed. I could have come for war. I chose not to, but I will not leave empty-handed. The throne belongs to someone greater than all of us. The elders scoff, and elder of the council inquires, "And who do you say the throne belongs to?" She reaches into her cloak. The wind dies. All eyes lock on her hand. I don't know. But this will... She reveals a shimmering object. The Velmari necklace. Ancient, glowing. Gasps ripple like thunder. Whispers rise. The Velmari heirloom. A pendant lost for 30 years. Worn only by a true heir of the Selvarons. Untouched since the flames of betrayal consumed their house. A Council of Continuity member exclaims, That can't be. Where did you find that? A psychic examining it said, It's real. The bloodline speaks through it. Even Virulin, the puppet psychic, nods, pale with fear, whispers, It is. The original Selvaron's Madan. Sensing his power unraveling like dry parchment in flame, Lord Helshini made his move, screaming, Attack! End this rebellion now! Chaos explodes. Velmari forces surge towards Isara. Screams rise. The rebels close in around her. Isara draws her blade. But before anyone can strike, a sound, a surge. The air cracks like thunder. Chains shatter. A blinding blue light surges from the center of the chaos. From the stone steps where she once stood bound in irons. She rose. Isabella Vastra. Her hands glow with psychic light. Her eyes pure crystal white. All motion freezes. She lifts her hands and lifts the world. Soldiers, both rebels and council, rise into the air, suspended like puppets in invisible strings. She brings them down gently, disarmed, unharmed. And there, at the heart of it all, Lord Helshini and Lady Corva stood frozen, now bound in chains they could not escape. Massive silence. Then a whisper from the back of the crowd. The Omni psychic. Another she lives. For the first time in 1,000 years, Velmara had seen the true power of the Omni psychic. They read about it, they saw the images, but none alive has witnessed the awesome power of the Omni psychic, and the prophecy had begun. Fear held the city gate in a stranglehold. The air, soaked in silence. Even the birds forgot to fly. All eyes turned. As Lord Velmari rose from the dust of revelation, the aged Lord Velmari stands shakily. The crowd parts. He breathes deeply, burdened with truth. Lord Velmari, voice trembling, but strong, starts speaking. I can no longer bear the weight of silence. 3 decades ago, the last true king of Velmara, of the Selvaron line, came to me in secret. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Isabella and Isara stand frozen, faces pale with realization. Lord Velmari continues, He foresaw war, betrayal, death. His queen was pregnant. He feared for her life and for the life of the child within her. In the back room of the royal chamber, the king placed this palm in my hands. He asked me for help. He made me promise, save them, protect them, return them to the kingmakers when the time is right. Lord Velmari pauses, lowering his eyes. I failed him. I couldn't save his queen, but the plan produced a miracle. The crowd leans forward. Lord Velmari continues. I convinced my wife, Lady Alani, to pretend she was with child. When the queen gave birth, I was there, with our deception, but fate had a twist. He slowly lifts his eyes, softly speaking. She gave birth to twins. Shocked murmurs. Even the stoic lords of Velmari exchange stunned glances. 2 beautiful girls. He gave them to me, along with the royal necklace pendant of the Selvarons. I took one girl, raised her as my own. The other, I sent to a far-off planet, Otherin, under the care of a man I trusted deeply. Johann Carinox, the adopted father of Isara. Isara Yolan now, Isara Velmari freezes, lips trembling, eyes brimming with tears. 2 lives, 2 sisters, 1 truth that now crashes through the skies of Velmara like thunder. Lord Velmari continues, when whispers of betrayal reached the Council of Continuity, I gave the pendant to my wife with instructions to hand it to Isara on her 10th birthday. Isabella responded quietly, stunned. She said it was from my father. I thought she meant you. Lord Velmari gently continues, I was your shield, Isara, but not your father. He looks at Isabella, whose white glowing eyes now fade back to her true self. Her hands shake. When the plot to assassinate Isara grew louder, I arranged with the psychics to move her, to find her sister. He turns toward the crowd, voice louder now, resolute, declaring, Today I return to you, the promise I made to your true king. He raises his hand toward the girls. I present your true heirs to the throne of Velmara Isabella Isara Selvaron, the Omni psychic, and her twin sister Isara Johan Selvaron, daughter of stars, blood of kings. The people begin to weep, kneel, or stare in disbelief. The council falls into whispers. Lord Velmari, emotion thick in his throat, still speaking, I could not save their mother, but I hope I've kept my vow. He kneels, laying down his staff, looking up at the stunned crowd. I ask, humbly, that I be released from the promise I made to the royal house of Selvaron. Silence again. But this time, it's reverent. In the court of kings and gods, truth has one master, and that day, truth returned to Velmara. 1 week later, the coronation arrived. The sky over Velmara shone with a new dawn. Not just the sun, but hope itself rose that day. The day the bloodline was restored. The day a queen took her rightful place. Velmara's golden citadel, surrounded by hills, towers, and people in ceremonial dress, gathered at the marble gates of the grand hall. Isara, standing tall on the white marble platform, a golden robe embroidered with the symbols of the Selvarons flows behind her. The Velmari necklace glows faintly around her neck. Isara Johan Selvaron, daughter of prophecy, daughter of stars, now Queen of Velmara. Members of the Inner Five step forward. Lord Velmari, now aged and at peace, holds the royal circlet. Beside him, Lord Courtroom places his hand over his heart. Lord Velmari softly declares, with this crown we honor the blood of kings and the future of peace. He gently places the crown on Isara's head. Trumpets sound. The crowd erupts in cheers. Crowd chanting, all hail Queen Isara, long live the Selvarons. Isabella standing beside her sister in sky blue Omni psychic color. Her eyes shimmer with quiet power. She is the Omni psychic, and beside her stood the one not born to reign, but to protect. Sylvia, the earthborn friend of Isabella, watches proudly from the front row, her children Jordan and Mila, now grown and married, by her side. Sylvia, smiling, whispers, you were always meant for this, Bella. Isabella turns and nods gently, a tear running down her cheek. The people cheer again. The rebel warriors, once hunted and hated, now stood honored. Citizens of Velmara, guardians of peace, the past had been rewritten. Former rebel leaders dressed in royal blue, standing shoulder to shoulder with the Velmari Guard. Children from both sides playing together in the courtyard. The Inner Five in ceremonial robes. Lord Velmari, Lord Courtroom, Elder Mora, High Seer Nada, and Archbuilder Tomar, standing at the edge of the balcony. Lord Courtroom speaking to the crowd, the crown has returned, the soul of Velmara has awakened. For the first time in 1,000 years, there was no fear in the wind, only unity, only peace, only the quiet whisper of a better world. Queen Isara and Isabella standing side by side on the golden balcony. The city of Velmara glows below. Fireworks ignite the sky. Children laugh. Drums play. The prophecy fulfilled. The throne restored. Velmara reborn.